began this series titled Nigeria's Weakened Institutions last week, and amongst other things, lamented that the idea of democracy and separation of powers, concepts which have been in practice successfully for thousands of years before Nigeria was conceived in Lord Lugard's and Flora Shaw's womb, had, in the case of Nigeria, become concepts for students to study and pass examinations. In reality, what obtains today in Nigeria is a gradual, steady, and corrosive weakening of state institutions that should ordinarily act as check to executive lawlessness and arbitrary actions. You can visit our account to watch that episode. A key arm of democracy, as stated last week, and which acts as a solid check on the executive, is the legislature, the representatives of the people charged with lawmaking and oversight of agencies of the executive. Modern legislating is traceable to Rome, which in turn borrowed from the Icelandic Althing, formed in 930 AD, and which stands as the oldest assembly today. In modern legislatures, men and women serve with honor, prestige, and honesty. It is often said that a legislator's boss is his constituency, to whom he is answerable and from whom he takes instructions. It is a thing of pride, therefore, to represent people in such legislatures and to contribute to the upholding of sacred values of justice, fairness, and humanity. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. In its editorial of 19 May 2023, at the twilight of President Buhari's tenure, the Punch newspaper described the Ninth Assembly as an indolent, weak rubber stamp. The paper echoed what many Nigerians had known for years, a situation where the legislature abdicated their core mandate to slavishly kowtow to the executive. When President Tinubu took over the reins of presidential power, not a few Nigerians touted his democratic pedigree and hoped that democracy would flourish under him. Alas, midway into his first term, those hopes have not just been dashed, they have been ground to powder. Such has been the dismal record of performance of the legislature under Tinubu that a commentator on Facebook stated false, quote, if the 9th National Assembly was a rubber stamp, the 10th Assembly appears to be the seal that would deliver the legislature hook, line, and sinker to the executive. We may end up with a fusion of the executive and the legislature working hand in gloves to shortchange the masses, end of quote. That scenario is already here, unfortunately. President Tinubu has deployed everything to capture the legislature to serve his bidding without any thought for the masses. Asking rhetorically, is it that President Tinubu is so powerful? Or is it that these men in the assembly are without scruples, men of straw, who are capable of selling their mothers for impotence? Which one is it? And what are the implications of this aberration on justice, equity, and good governance? Your guess is as good as mine. One unmistakable result of this weakening of the legislature is a flight of good governance, checks, and balances. Another result is the enthronement of corruption, mediocrity in government, and the reign of blackmail and witch hunt. In the past 2 years and some months, Nigerians have watched as government agencies are summoned by the National Assembly to account for mind-boggling missing sums, only to develop cold feet after some days. Indeed, recently, a statement on X Twitter by the president stated thus, quote, President Bola Tinubu has approved the cancellation of about $1.42 billion and 5.57 trillion naira in outstanding debts owed by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, to the Federation account. The approval was contained in a document issued by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, and presented at the Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, meeting held in November 2025, end of quote. Until then, Nigerians did not know that their president had been transmogrified to the status of a patron saint who forgives economic sins and iniquities. That was a first in Nigerians' brand of democracy. Don't ask me where the National Assembly were during the press release and afterwards. They are standing on his mandate. So, we see people who should be serving life jail, superintending over Nigeria's economic affairs. Or is it economic buccaneering? After the atonement of the saints of NNPCL, did you hear that any of them resigned, was sacked, or reshuffled? Business continued as usual. And please stay with us for the last part of this series next week. Our socials remain the same as the reference page, and they are available so you can follow us. You can also like, comment, and share. My name remains Ben Abraham, and this is Criminal Justice Focus. Thank you.